Alright, welcome back everybody. Quancredible here to bring you the review for Black Clover chapter 265. Now, like, this chapter is mad short. We only got 11 pages, and like that part, like before even getting into the review itself, kind of bothers me. Because it's like, granted, Tabata, I understand being a mangaka is really hard. I totally get that. It is mad hard. And like, you gotta put out chapters every week. But 11 pages is like really, really short. So like not on like a complaining note, but on like a maybe Tabata needs more of a break note. Like, cause if you're only putting out 11 pages, it's kind of short. Maybe you should take an extended break just to get back to it, because like that's not a lot of time, or that's not a lot of pages. Like it makes the story feel massively, like it makes it feel like the actual pacing is mad slow when it probably isn't. Like just like if you put it into perspective, if we got like say 17 or 18 pages, this chapter would have been like doubled. So you could have got like way more into what else is happening in the story. Like, so that's the only thing with that kind of bothers me. Um, Aside from that, apologies if anybody was expecting my stream this week. I was part of the Black Clover vs. Everybody stream on Wednesday. Like we normally do it on Thursday, but it was on Wednesday this week because the chapter came out early, so we got the spoilers early, so I didn't stream. So apologies about that. Definitely sub to the Black Clover vs. Everybody channel. I'm usually there on those podcasts. I put the link here. It's Josuke's channel. I mean, anybody who's been here for any amount of time definitely knows I've always been on Josuke's channel. But yeah, so definitely expect normal streaming to resume now. But into the chapter review. So as you can already tell, I have mixed feelings about this chapter, probably like a lot of you. Now, probably maybe not for the same reasons as everybody else, but I'm just going to voice my concerns. So we get into the chapter with Noelle waking up first, seeing as Patry and them have basically saved her. Cool, I have no problems with that. It was pretty cool to see that the elves have their own village. Alicia, I want to say it's called, that these elf children are from. Like if you recall, we definitely seen them way back when William was like drawing all the elves back to that great tree for them to pass on. We seen them. I know myself, as a lot of other people thought that these elf children could be somewhere in the Clover Kingdom, but it turns out they were way off in the Heart Kingdom. Now, it seems kind of crazy to me that the elf children were able to possibly see the elf souls being drawn back to William's tree, or maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they were kind of just like just shown just to be shown. That part's a little weird, but I do think it's cool that we got to see them again. I definitely didn't think Tabata would bring, one, the elves back so soon, or two, show the elves children that he showed way before so soon. I didn't think we get both of those this early, which is pretty cool. But from there, we get how they're even to be, which is kind of where my issues to kind of start. I do think it's cool that in the little note at the bottom, Tabata even gives you the volume and the pages so you can go back and reread it if you want to, which is kind of cool because I know a lot of times we have flashbacks in mangas and series where we don't necessarily, like, we kind of have to find it ourselves. But Tabata literally she gave you where you could go right back and find it yourself. But I went back and read it before the officials even came out to see like if it made sense. And if you go back and read it, like Nero or Sakurai does go to Tieta's body, and then from there, back then, we don't see any more of her until she comes back with Lumiere and the jewels or the stones. And in this chapter, we get to see that Tieta was still alive and she sealed her wounds, and I guess one of the twins survived. And Tieta, I'm assuming, was able to live her life and raise this child, and just go on. And that's where it kind of gets weird, because it's like, if Tieta survived and raised the elf, the one elf child, it's like, how in the world are these elf children so elf-like still? It's like over the course of the years, you would think that the elfness would die out, because there's no other elf. There would have been no other elves aside from that one elf child in that moment. So it's like the elf bloodline should have like kind of dwindled down, in my opinion. Like I feel like it should have just almost dwindled away entirely, unless you get real sciencey and just say elf genes were like mad dominant over human genes. But that's just like a big I guess. And then there's no way that like any of those elves are like that one elf was alive 500 years. Like there's no way. Unless elves just lived for that long in Black Clover, but I mean, I guess in some works of fiction, elves do live a long time, but to still be that young and to have this random other child with him, it would be weird. It would be really, really weird. And like, if Tiff was alive, it also bothers me that she never went back to the capital. I mean, I could understand why she didn't, because from her perspective, the royals would have massacred everybody, so she wouldn't have wanted to go back. But it just doesn't make sense that no one found her, or no one went to find her. Or, I mean, granted, they would just assume she was dead, but like, it's almost like she would have woke. It's almost like Nero healed her. She got up and just walked away somewhere, gave birth, and just raised his child somewhere else. It just seems so strange. It just seems so strange. Um, but not to dwell on that exact part for too long, because I would just keep going on and on and on about how strange it is. The fact that Nero never said anything to anybody, not once, is annoying to me. And now, before anybody gets upset or say she didn't have time, I understand that all the events that were taking place extremely quick. Especially when you go reread it, it's not like she had a lot of time to really bring it up. Because like after she got so basically after she got the stones and freaking healed Tetia, she flew straight to Lumiere with the magic item and stones in tow, and basically they finished off it happened really fast. And then after he was finished off, she basically sealed the devil away or whatever, and preserved Lumiere. I feel like in that moment she could have said your sister might still be alive. In that exact moment she could have mentioned it, and like he would have had something to look forward to in the future, possibly. Like in that moment she really could have said something. Or even when she even when she first brought him back, like when her and Finral went to the statue and they put the stones in him and he came back, I feel like she could have mentioned it there. Also, at the very end, after the devil was defeated and the elves were going back, she could have mentioned it there that, hey, Tetia might still be out there. It's like a possibility, or not still out there, but her descendants could possibly still be out there, something along those lines, or I may have saved her. Like, she just could have mentioned it at the very least. I'm not saying that she could have went on a whole thing about it, but I feel like she could have mentioned it just to tell people that. It just seems odd, just very odd. Not like plot hole worthy odd, but just very odd. But then from there brings up my second or third, I've lost count, really big issue with this chapter, is the Clover Kingdom cast defending against the big magical explosions let off by the Dark Disciples. Now, it's just there are some of them I think could have defended against the blast. Like Charmy and her wolf, I can totally see Charmy and her wolf absorbing the blast, or basically just eating it. I can give Charmy and the wolf that, because Charmy's broken. Leo, I can give it to Leo. He's a royal. He has fire magic. It can possibly counteract the explosion. He's done big attacks. I can give it to Leo. Now Luck's the first one I can't give it to, because Luck just charges into the explosion. I don't see how that would counteract a blast. That doesn't make any sense to me. And as for Mimosa, granted she's a royal, has tons of mana and the flower cannon, but I don't really feel like that should have been enough to deal with the explosion. And same thing for Noelle. You can see in the panel, Noelle's Valkyrie dress is falling off. She's half defeated. Is she even able? Is that even a Sea Dragon's Roar, or is that just a big water attack? What even is that? Now, I will say that Mimosa and Noelle were in the same spot, so it's highly likely that they dealt with the same explosion. So half beaten Noelle and Mimosa might have been able to deal with it, but it still just seems super fishy. And then even if you look at the panel when the explosions were happening, these are some big explosions. They are huge. Now, the only way I could see this being justified is if, say, the Dark Disciples were the explosions and the effects we seen were just light from it and not necessarily the explosion itself. But it doesn't necessarily hold a lot of weight, because we can kind of see that trees are getting blown back too around the edges of the explosion, so it's and we don't get to see Gaja either, so that also weirds me out. I wonder if Gaja got caught up in the blast, or did he or was he able to deal with it? I'm assuming he's able to deal with it, but he's just not there. Or maybe he woke up first because he wasn't really hurt in the first place. So I mean, Gaja's probably around, I'm assuming. And the other thing that kind of bothered me a little bit is it said that, oh, they managed to counteract the blast as well as defend all the citizens too. And I'm just like, man, y'all just completely neutralized the blast entirely. That's crazy. I'm not saying that millions of people needed to die or anything, but But I'm just saying that for all 5 of them to have just like dealt with it, no issues, just seems super odd. It just seems super odd to me. And then at the end of the chapter, we get Noelle grabbing Partry and basically demanding that he teaches them how to get stronger, seeing as they are stronger than her, according to her, which is interesting to me because I know a lot of people believed Elf Noelle, or not Elf Noelle, but Noelle to be much stronger than the elves, which this basically just confirms that she isn't. Like, I'm assuming this is confirming that current Noelle is weaker than the past elves, because she has no idea how strong they are right now. Like, there's no way she knows how strong they are since she hasn't fought them. But she fought them back then, so she probably just remembers how strong they are, and comparing them to how she is now, just knows that they're stronger than her, which is weird. Because I felt like she should be stronger than them, but, like, she just said that she wasn't. So that's odd, but, you know, I'll roll with it, because the elves were really, really strong. But, yeah, so she basically demands for them to train her, which I don't really have much of a problem with. It just kind of bothers me that they, like, just kind of agree to it, you know, just like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll teach you our secret techniques. And it's just like, I understand that the Dryad, like, you know, gave them the revelation to save them, but, like, what motivation do they really have to teach them this super ultimate technique? I mean, yeah, the Dark Triad is kind of, you know, that threat is looming, but it's like the fact that they just agreed so easily, and that they probably are going to learn this ultimate magic in 3 days, is just like, that is not a lot of time. Like, that is not a lot of time to learn these super ultimate techniques. So I guess from here it just really depends on how Tabata handles it, because that's really what I'm interested in. Like, if he handles it right, then I'll be okay with it, but it just depends. Like, I feel like we're going to get like some, like, I don't know if you guys watch Bleach all like that, but some Bleach Bankai training when he had 3 days to master Bankai through this super special way. Like, if it's done kind of like that, I may give it a pass, but we just have to see. From there, and that's it. Yeah, because we only got 11 pages, so it's just mad short. So it's like, dang, I really hope Tabata is able to get like a break. Hopefully he's really able to rest in these 16 weeks. Because, like, I feel like we haven't gotten a chapter over 15 pages in a very long time. Just, man, it has been a while when I really think. I can't remember the last chapter we got that's over. That was more than like 15 pages. But I'm definitely excited to see where we go next. It is odd to me that the Heart Kingdom group is getting trained by elves. I know myself and a lot of other people thought that would be Yuno. But hey, you know, let's see where this goes. But as for that, I would love to know you guys' thoughts on the chapter down below, how you guys are feeling about it, how you guys feel about them defending against the blast as well as defending all the citizens as well. I would love to know people's opinions on that. Are you for it or not for it? How do you guys feel about Tieta being alive and raising a child, and then those descendants being alive now? Like, if you guys have an idea of how she could have done this, please let me know, because that is the most far-fetched thing in this chapter to me. Like, that one right there is the weirdest one to me. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about that. Overall, I'd give the chapter like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Like, I didn't hate it. It wasn't bad. Like, I'm not gonna say it was bad, but it was just okay. There's just a lot of stuff that's just really odd to me, but other than that, it was just okay. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about it down below. Make sure you guys like to the video, as well as sub to my channel. Like I've been saying, we're getting really close to 1,000 subscribers. We're less than 50 away, and that is insane to me. So if we can kind of crank that out and get to 1,000, that would be amazing. Other than that, I have nothing else for you guys, so I will catch you guys in my next video.